Dr. Mark Daglish was part of a team that recruited ex-heroin users and scanned them while showing them heroin-related stimuli.
Somebody who's got a past history of using drug, that stimuli that remind them of using drug are just more able to grab their attention. Where was the activity in the brain that related to that? And that was this area here, just above the eyeballs. What we also know is that people who've got damage in this area of the brain are quite bad at making decisions based on weighing up the likelihood of different outcomes.
In other words, heroin leaves you permanently vulnerable to succumbing to the drug again, long after you think you've kicked the habit.
The sort of classic thing that people do is that they go into treatment or they go into prison, they get detoxed, they then lose their tolerance, go back out, relapse, use at the same level. They've lost their tolerance, so they overdose. And that's a high proportion of drug-related deaths are due to people going back and relapsing and using at old levels after a period of abstinence.
In 1970, having just kicked heroin, Janice had no idea of what a dangerous position she was in. She thought she was having the best month of her life in Los Angeles.
We were staying at this motel that we'd stayed at before. All the rooms around the pool were suites. This was a place we were pretty comfortable.
Janice was recording tracks with a new band that would become her greatest album, Pearl, which included such legendary hits as Me and Bobby McGee and Mercedes-Benz.
Oh Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes-Benz? My friends all drive Porsches, I must make amends. Worked hard all my life.
But the greatness of these songs came at a huge price. To get the track sounding perfect, Janice's producer needed to spend time with other musicians in the band, leaving Janice alone.
When he's working with the band all day, Janice is bored. And when Janice is bored, Janice is lonely. And somewhere in there, she started dabbling with heroin. And she had kicked heroin. And when you've kicked, you think, oh, well, I kicked once, I can handle it. And that's part of the thing about heroin. It's, you know, it feeds your fantasies. Oh, it's all right, I can handle it. Now she's saying this to herself. You know, the drug is saying it's really okay. You can have a little bit. It'll be okay.
Breathing is controlled by the brain. Heroin and alcohol affect different brain pathways, but they both depress the central nervous system, so both slow down the lungs. The trouble is, when you take them together, you depress both pathways, so, in effect, lose your backup system. The lungs slow down so much that they can no longer supply the brain with enough oxygen. And without oxygen, it's only a matter of minutes before you die. At this point, Janice's only hope was if someone found her, woke her up, and forced her to breathe. Sadly, she was alone.